Alright everyone, as we head into the international break, we had one final match day to go through in the Premier League. That is match day 11, and let's dive into the 5 things that we learned from game week 11 in the Premier League 24-25. Because there were some big games here, some massive games for the title race, for the battle against relegation, and the race for European football as well. So let's dive into the 5 most important games this weekend. So we will start with one of the late kickoffs, the late but not too late kickoff. I'll get into the later kickoff later in this one as well. The one from Saturday, Brighton and Hove Albion against Manchester City. Now the pressure was very much on the citizens coming into this one. Of course, they had lost 3 matches in 3 different competitions in their previous 3 games, but they were looking to get back to form against a Brighton side that has been really upsetting the order so far this season. They've been a really tricky team to play against, just like they have for the last few seasons as well. Hurtzler doing an incredible job with the Seagulls this season so far, and it seemed as though Man City were going to go back to the normal kind of form we'd expect. Erling Haaland, great goal for him just halfway through the first half basically, and Man City were, in fairness, they were looking in control. They had more of the possession, they had more of the chances, they were looking pretty good heading into the last 10-15 minutes or so, but João Pedro and Matt O'Reilly, they had other ideas. A quick fire double from those 2 players ended up getting Brighton ahead, and of course they ended up winning the match as well, 2-1. The first time that Manchester City have lost 4 games in a row in all competitions since 2006, since Stuart Pearce and was in charge of the club, and back way before they were taken over by the state of Abu Dhabi, back when they were just a mid-table average Premier League club. It is really turning on its head at the moment. Even Pep Guardiola has come out and basically said, look, you know, maybe it's time for someone else to challenge us for this. You know, we've had it too easy basically. I mean, he didn't say that, but you know what I mean. You know, and I think it's interesting because, you know, you've got a team that people are taking the mick at the end of the day, and rightfully so. It's football, you know. We got to dish out the banter when we can do. You know, it remains to say that Man City are the team that have won the last 4 Premier Leagues in a row. This run has to come to an end. I was convinced it was going to come to an end last season. No one had won 4 Premier League titles in a row, or 4 First Division, top flight English title, whatever you want to call them, before Man City managed it last season. So it's coming. It's been coming. And there's a lot of uncertainty around the club, and I might do a more in-depth video going on about Man City actually and what's kind of going on there. There's a lot of uncertainty around the club when it comes to the management, the court cases, all that good and bad stuff. So yeah, basically all that might be feeding on to players, and it would have definitely showed with the result what happened yesterday against Brighton. And it got worse for Man City because later on in the day, it was the 8 PM kickoff in the Premier League. It was Liverpool against Aston Villa. Aston Villa doing incredibly well in the Champions League. Of course, they lost in midweek, but still one of the best sides so far in the Champions League. Liverpool, top of the Champions League, top of the Premier League, and they've extended their advantage to the top of the Premier League as well to 5 points ahead of Manchester City. They are now 9 points ahead of the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton and Nottingham Forest. More on some of those sides later. But yeah, 2-0 victory for Liverpool. Pretty routine, to be fair. Aston Villa, they gave as good as they could do, but Liverpool right now, especially at Anfield, I mean, they beat Leverkusen 4-0 in midweek, wasn't it, in the Champions League? So this is a side really on form. Darwin Núñez getting the opening goal after 20 minutes or so, just basically rounded Martinez. It's not really a goal kind of goal you see normally. It's a fair play to him to actually finish. It was not an easy finish from a guy that, of course, misses a lot of chances, but he scores quite a few as well. And another guy who scores even more chances, Mohamed Salah, scoring with just 5 minutes to go of regulation time, as Aston Villa tried to chase the game, tried to get back into it, but it was not enough. And yeah, Liverpool's run goes on at the top of the Premier League. Now to the Sunday games. Now, Nottingham Forest are a side that I highlighted not too long ago, earlier this week, just basically saying how well they're doing. They were in 3rd place before this game today, but they had a tough test against Newcastle. Newcastle coming into a bit of form now after a bit of a slow start to the season, but Murillo getting the opening goal for Forest. I think it was his first goal for the club as well. It was a header from a corner, a header from a free kick, something like that anyway. An opening goal, and yeah, 1-0 at half time to the home side, and it seemed as though Nottingham Forest, they might have gone within a few points of Manchester City, which is just unbelievable, but it was not to be. And Newcastle really making a good comeback, and in fairness, it was deserved. They came on really strong in the second half of this game. Isak equalising just before the hour mark. Joe Linton with a well-taken goal after 72 minutes to put the away side ahead, and Harvey Barnes sent the Toon back up to the northeast with all 3 points and 3 goals to boot. Newcastle, they're making a run for the European places. It is not off for them by any means, especially when you look at how some of their rivals not too far away from in the league are performing. Tottenham Hotspur, oh my word, oh my word. This is so Spursy. It's painful. It's absolutely painful. Now, I saw a stat coming into this one that said that Ipswich Town had actually beaten Tottenham in all of their previous 3 league games in a row. I mean, those league games come in well over 20 years ago, but they made it 4 in a row today. A 2-1 victory for Ipswich. Their first win in the Premier League this season. Away from home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Sammy Schmodix doing it in the Premier League at last. Incredible striker in the Championship last season for Blackburn. He's chipping in with the goals for Ipswich. Liam Delap as well, making it 2-0 to the Tractor Boys before half-time. Delap, what a signing he has been from Man City. Not on the level of Cole Palmer, don't get me wrong, but oh my days, is he really making an impact down in East Anglia with that. And yeah, Rodrigo Bentancur got a goal back for Tottenham, but unfortunately they have absolutely bottled it again. They've had a really bad week. Yeah, I mean, I would say they bottled it, but they never had it in the first place. But losing against a side threatening against relegation at home, a side that never won in the Premier League for 20 odd years before this, it's not really great, is it? Ipswich, I mean, they were clinical with the chances. Spurs dominating the possession, having more of the shots, but Spurs just really poor at converting the chances again. Back to the kind of Tottenham we kind of know really, but still it is an embarrassing one for the Lily Whites at home in that regard. But we'll stay in London for the final game. Now, I've done an in-depth review of Chelsea against Arsenal. It was not a classic, let's be honest here, but it seemed as though Arsenal were going to win this one, you know, with the opening goal from Martinelli. A very, very fine, well taken goal from him. A great pass from Odegaard, who was back for this game, which is huge for Arsenal. Sanchez should have done more to save it, though. In fairness, he should have done more to keep him out at his near post. Before that, Kai Havertz opened the scoring, or at least he thought he did anyway in the first half, but he was correctly called offside by VAR. Pedro Neto, though, equalised with a well taken goal as well. Chelsea also having the ball in the net pretty late on too. Again, that was called for offside. So yeah, well done for Chelsea getting a point in this one. Not an easy result at all with this in this regard. Arsenal and Chelsea now 9 points off the title chase. I mean, Chelsea were never really going to realistically be in the title chase, but Arsenal, they were hoping for that, and they got some work on. The title is not over. It's not over by any means, but they need to start making some ground up soon, because frankly, right now, Liverpool are running away with it. They are absolutely running away with it. They have been superb this season so far. So yeah, those are the 5 things, the 5 matches that we highlighted from this Premier League game week 11. I'm so sad the Premier League is going away for a couple of weeks, but we'll be back in a few weeks to cover that. We'll also in the international break be following England and how they hopefully come back to win their Nations League group and get promoted to League A, which I absolutely love the Nations League, don't get me wrong. It's better than friendlies, don't get me wrong, but I'm dreading that game against Greece. I mean, we're probably going to batter Ireland, to be fair, but yeah. Greece away, after they beat us at Wembley in the way they did, that could get ugly. But we'll be here to cover it on thefootballchronicle.com, and of course I'll be doing some opinion pieces in the meantime as well. One on Liverpool and how this is their title to lose this season. That'll be coming out later this week on the channel. But yeah, thanks for all the support, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the bell as well, and we'll see you very soon for some more football content here on thefootballchronicle.com.